When it comes to radically alternative architecture, one of my absolute favorite types has to be the Earthship. And I think that's because, in a way, building an Earthship is almost an act of rebellion. Rebellion against trash, rebellion against wastefulness, rebellion against convention. And here in South Australia, we are about to see a perfect example of all of that brought to life. Hi Amy, how are you?
Hey Bryce, I'm good, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. It is so nice to meet you. And wow, your home is just so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I'm pretty proud of it.
As you should be. I think every time I see an Earthship, I just fall more and more in love with them.
They're pretty amazing buildings, and it's nice to be able to have actioned one in a suburban setting and kind of just follow my dream.
And what was it that made you want to build an Earthship?
Well, I was working in Nicaragua as a volunteer coordinator for a program, and we built a school using plastic bottles. So we'd have 3-litre plastic bottles that we'd collect in a rubbish and recycling program and just fill them with sand and soft plastics at the beach. So I spent hours and hours and hours filling these bottles with soft plastics and sand alongside young kids, alongside older members of the community. And then we used those bottles to build them as bricks for the school. And what I loved about that method was that everyone could be involved. So it was like the young, it was the old, and it wasn't a hard building method, so that it meant that you didn't have to have skilled trades to be involved in that build. And then I was like, wow, you can build out of trash, that's cool. So then I followed Earthships for quite a long time, and I decided to go to New Mexico, Taos, to do the Earthship Academy there. And when I came back to Australia, I was like, I'd love to action my dream. I'd love to be able to do this. And then I was so blessed because in South Australia, we have the guru of Earthships, who is Martin Freeney. I believe he's been on your show already.
He has, yeah.
And so he really was the person that was able to help me make this Earthship a reality.
And it was a community workshop build for this one too, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we had over 40 volunteers from around Australia join me in February 2021 for a whole month.
Oh, I love that. Because of course that is one of the things about Earthship building, that it is so labour intensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And what size is the Earthship?
So my square footage is about 130 metres squared, and it's a 2-bedroom Earthship with an open living area, plus the space in the greenhouse as well.
And obviously Earthships, they're sort of an experiment in radically sustainable architecture. Can you tell me about the design that's gone into this home?
Yeah, so there has been a lot of design features. A lot of them have come from Michael Reynolds, so the architect for Earthships over in New Mexico. He has worked for over 30 years to kind of refine the design of Earthships and how they work most efficiently. And then Marty here in Australia has been able to put his own take on that so we can make it suitable for an Australian climate. So my Earthship has a lot of the features that Michael Reynolds has in his traditional Earthship, and it's been helped to acclimatise to the Australian environment. So one of the main features of the Earthship is the use of recycled car tyres. So in my Earthship, I've got over 900 car tyres that I myself rescued from landfill. So the way that the tyre wall works is that you have a big tyre and you put carpet in the bottom. So the carpet is what stops any of the earth from falling out that hole in the bottom of the tyre. Then you get buckets and buckets of earth and you put that earth into the tyre. You stand above the tyre and you have a sledgehammer, and then you are sledging that earth into the outside rim of the tyre so that it expands and becomes a rubber reinforced rammed earth brick. And when you lay them in the same way that you would lay a regular brick wall and you're ramming them, it becomes a really solid wall that you have to be able to build your house on. So behind that tyre wall is something called an earth berm, and the earth berm is essentially a large earth hill, and you're utilising Mother Nature's beautiful, sustainable earth temperature to be able to regulate the temperature of the inside of your own house. The way that that works is it's like a hug. I imagine the earth berm is what's hugging my house. So when someone hugs you, you get warm. When the earth berm is hugging my house, it's warming my house and keeping that temperature regular. The earth berm also has a feature where the cooling tubes can run through them. So the cooling tubes are PVC pipes, and they run all the way through the earth berm, starting from the outside and then come into the inside of my house. And that's essentially my air conditioner. So the way that that works is that the air from the outside comes through the cooling tubes, and whatever temperature on the outside the air is, it gets change to the stable temperature of the earth as it passes through that tube. So then inside I can choose whether or not I want to open or close those cooling tubes, and then the cold air comes out. Another feature of the Earthship is the greenhouse at the front. So the Earthships always face north in the southern hemisphere, and having it facing north means I get the most amount of sun coming through my windows in the winter and the least amount of sun coming through the windows in the summer. So it's kind of that, sensible, makes sense, the design of utilising what you can in that area. When I have that warmth coming in, I can choose if I want to let it out by opening the awning windows. So that works as well with the cooling tube. So I've got the cool air coming through, it mixes in with the air temperature inside the house, the hot air rises, and then that hot air is what gets sucked out of the awning windows. So it creates this kind of cycle where you're pulling in the cold air and sucking out the hot air just through the design of the house.
Those passive systems are just so clever, eh?
Yeah, they really are.
And of course you're off the grid with this home as well?
I am off the grid with this home, yes. So I have 2 rainwater tanks, which is all of the water that I need for the house. I have my own septic system that gets managed on site. The back earth berm of the Earthship as well has functioned as an area for where the grey water can be dispersed in. And that we're hoping is kind of turbocharging the cooling tubes, because the earth above the cooling tubes is always wet, and then therefore it's going to make the earth cooler so that the air coming through is also cooler. This is the first Earthship that's been able to utilise the berm for its wastewater management. So I am totally off the grid now, and I have all my own energy. So I've got solar panels on the north facing side of my roof, which is providing all the energy that I need for the house, which works really well.
That's just so clever. And I think one of the things that always amazes me about Earthships is the way that you can build all of that function into a home and it can still be so beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a really big journey kind of discovering what my Earthship is going to become. I had a dream for so long that I wanted an Earthship, and then it was a privilege to action that dream, and I feel really proud and happy about it.
Well, this home is just so clever and I am so excited to see the inside. Can we take a look?
Yes, please. I'd love to show you. Come on in.
Thank you. This is incredible. And having the greenhouse like this just makes such an incredible feature for the home, doesn't it?
It does. It's really such a blessing to walk inside and just feel all this green, all this light around me. And it's always warm. So again, it feels like I'm being hugged by the house when I come in.
Yeah, and I love that it's productive too.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot to learn about gardening still. I'm still in that process, but I have had tomatoes all year round, and that has been lovely to be able to pick them.
Yeah. And this also acts like a hallway for the home, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So the greenhouse is what connects all of the rooms, and it's also the buffer zone for the temperature. So if it was a really, really hot day and the greenhouse was getting too hot, all I would need to do would be to close all the doors and windows for the secondary living area section, and that area stays really, really temperate and cool as need be. Yeah.
Perfect. And you've set it up with the lounge chair and the breakfast bar as well.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that I could really live out here and have lots of living spaces. So yeah, having breakfast sitting at the breakfast bar is pretty beautiful. I also have 2 cats, and my cats love the greenhouse. It's definitely their favourite space in the house. Lots to see as they want to look out at the community through all of those big glass windows.
And one of the things that I just always love about Earthships, and it's so wonderfully featured in this home, is the bottle walls.
Yeah, the bottle walls are very special. It's a really iconic feature of Earthships. So I had a friend who was an artist, and she took it on board to create, design, and actually build all of my bottle walls with me. So I wanted to do a sunflower with the oranges and the yellows. So to do that, we had to do a few trial and error. But what we found was if we got a clear glass bottle, I was able to put a little bit of resin in the bottom with a colour. So then when that set, it meant that the sun could shine through it, and that's how I got the bright colours of the sunflower on one side of the house. And then also I thought, well, if we're doing lots of colours, I may as well showcase that I can do a rainbow. So we've designed a rainbow star on the sunrise side of the house, which is pretty special.
That is just so beautifully done. And of course, immediately upon entering the home, you've got a spare room.
Yes, I do. I love having a spare room. room because lots of people have been coming to visit. I love sharing the Earthship, having meals here, and because I had so many people involved in the community build for the workshop, it's really special to have them come and visit now that it's not just a pile of tyres and earth on the ground. I've got a fully functioning house.
One of the things that I also really love about Earthship design is the floors. These are just so nicely done.
So my floor is just my slab, and then I've put a special coating over it to protect it. But having the thermal mass of my slab directly as my floor means that it warms up and keeps the house warm, or it's cool as well. So I also did something special with my foundation. It's called a straw bale waffle pod. That's another feature of straw bales being in the waffle pod of my slab.
I just love that name too, a straw bale waffle pod.
Yes, it's pretty cool.
It sure is. That's so nice. And through here we have the main living area of your home. Can we take a look at that?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to show you. Come on in.
Thank you. This is just so nice and cozy. There's something about Earthship design with all of the open glass on the front side and then all of the earth to the back that almost has that sort of like cozy cave kind of feeling, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a really nice way of putting it. So the big double glazed windows at the front of the greenhouse, as well as the windows in the secondary area that come into the main room, bring so much light and so much warmth in. It's a really beautiful thing to also watch the light change throughout the day for that morning sunrise colours as well as the sunset colours that come through.
Yeah, and we've got this lovely, very open plan kitchen and living room.
Yeah, I wanted to have just one room that was kind of the centre heart of the house. To have that kitchen, living and dining area all together really makes it feel nice.
It certainly does, with the wonderful fireplace right in the centre.
Yeah, that's right. I do have the fireplace right in the centre, but actually I haven't needed to use it. So it's
really?
more of a feature of it looking nice.
And these here are the cooling tubes, and you've made a real artistic feature of them as well.
Yeah, so this is where the cooling tubes come into my house. It was again a design by Marty and another friend who was working with me on the Earthship to have this kind of yin-yang feature. So I can choose to open them all the way if it's quite hot in here and I want to let the cold air in, or if it's only halfway, I can choose to have half the yin-yang open, or if it's quite cool in here and I want to start raising the temperature, I just close that cooling tube completely off.
Fantastic. And the lounge area looks really comfortable.
A large corner lounge, so I have lots of friends that come over when I can do entertaining. The coffee table as well, I had a local gentleman who was really interested in the Earthship and all the design principles. He had his own sawmill, so he gifted me with this huge slab of cypress pine timber to be able to utilise for my coffee table, which was amazing. And then a week later, he came back with 3 more slabs because he said he wanted the tree to be together in the house. So I've been able to utilise them as the breakfast bar and the areas in the kitchen for shelving.
What a gift.
It was a beautiful gift, yeah.
And with the kitchen, I love the way that it's all designed around this wonderful centre island.
Yeah, the island bench is pretty large and I wanted to have a lot of bench space for entertaining, for friends to be coming, and also to be this, the heart, the feeling that you can have those good conversations around it. I had a friend who is a skilled carpenter. His family rescued some red gum timber 30 years ago. And then he said, Amy, if you'd like to use it for your house, we'd love you to use it. And it's really turned out beautifully. I'm very proud of it.
It sure has. And you've got some great friends.
I do. I'm very lucky.
And there's plenty of storage space in here as well.
I've got a lot of storage space in the kitchen, which is great. I've got lots of empty shelves at the moment, so I could be still filling them. And I do have a great pantry. And the pantry shelf design was also done by the same friend who did the kitchen benchtop. It was a bit of a challenge because the back part of my wall, although this area is really rendered smooth here, the inside the pantry, I left a lot more curves, which is showing the truth of the house, which is the car tyres. So he had to scribe out all of those back shelves so that it fit neatly in there, but it's worked really well and is very functional.
Tricky work.
Yes.
And just through the door there, you've got the laundry as well?
Yeah. So just a small little laundry with a washing machine and a laundry sink, a functional space to be able to keep those things in there.
Brilliant. And can we take a look in the bathroom?
Yeah, sure. Follow me.
All right. This is a wonderfully spacious bathroom. And wow, what a nice hot tub.
Yes, I've been really lucky having quite a large bathroom, and the bath was definitely a luxury.
It sure is. And again, beautifully finished in here with lovely tile work.
Yeah, the tiles for me was a great adventure because I didn't yet have a tiler who was going to be on board helping me. And I had a man who just lived across the road that came to me and said, "I'm a tiler, do you need a tiler? I can start next week." And I was like, "Yes, please."
Yeah, and what luck with that as well, just have a tradie walk up to you like that. It never happens. And again, the bottle walls in here just make for such a beautiful feature.
Yeah, I do love the bottle walls. We designed this one kind of around a mandala, so wanting to have that circular feel. And there is really beautiful features on some of the bottom of the bottles. They say encouraging words like love, hope, peace, kindness, things like that.
Oh, that's so lovely. And you've got a flushing toilet in this home.
In the design of my home, I decided to go with a flushing toilet because I am utilising the rest of my wastewater through the grey water planter beds and reusing it in different ways. I decided to just go with a regular flushing toilet.
Fair enough too. And next door we've got your bedroom. Can we take a look at that?
Yeah, sure, follow me.
All right.
Watch out for the banana leaf. Hello, Zari.
Ah, the cat looks very comfortable there.
Yeah, they love being in the Earthship.
I bet. And again, this room just has so much charm that can only come from earthen walls and renders.
Yeah, thank you. I do love my bedroom. So the back wall that I have at my bedroom here is the tile wall, and we've rendered that smooth with a cob render. So that's sand, clay and straw all mixed together and then put on the wall. We had a white clay render with an oxide colour finish so that I could get the colour that I wanted for this back tile wall. My side walls are actually a straw bale wall. So I decided to have 2 straw bale ends of my house instead of the regular car tyres. And that was because of the size of my block. So it's been nice to trial that in our Earthship here, to have straw bale meeting up with car tie and have it work really well.
Brilliant. And on the end wall here as well, you've been able to sculpt in these wonderful little alcoves.
I have, yeah, those little niches were fun to make. Just getting a chainsaw, going into the straw bale wall and then using that clay to really create the shape that I'd like. My cats actually love it up there too, so often she'll be jumping up so that she can look over and see everything because she's high up in the wall. There was one time though that I had a pot plant in there and she didn't realise, and she jumped up and then went, there's something there, and then scrambled down the wall. So that is, the challenge of having an earthen wall is that it can fall away or come apart, but also the beauty is that I can just mix up a bit more render and patch it up.
And that explains why it's empty as well.
And that's why that one's empty, yes.
There you go. And you've got the wardrobe here as well?
Yeah, I do have a little wardrobe here. It's been good to be able to hang all of my clothes and have a good storage space.
Yeah. And your bedroom as well also has access to the bathroom through this door. But one of the things that I love about the design of the Earthship is how everything is connected through that walkway. And so every room has the feature of the greenhouse.
That's correct. So it's really pretty special to be waking up in the morning and looking out and seeing the banana tree straight out my window.
Yeah. So you've been living in the home for about 2 years now. How's life working out for you in the Earthship?
Yeah, it's been wonderful, thank you. It was such a big building process that really when I finally got to be in the house and living in it, it was very, very special. And it's performing well, it's functioning perfectly. I feel really happy and excited every time that I get to come home. So now that it's finished, I'm kind of known as Earthship Amy, and that's a special thing as well for me. For my Earthship to be my home and to be able to call it my home is really pretty special. It's the first and only home probably that I'm ever going to have myself, and to know that I've been part of that build and I've known every step of the way and needed to make all those decisions really is pretty amazing to wake up in my own house and know that I remember, that part of the wall because I rendered that, or I have a lovely feeling about when we did this part of the house because I had all of my friends around me. I feel very blessed. I feel so blessed to be waking up in the Earthship, to have the sun come straight in, to have the plants around me, to have the cats enjoying living here with me. So I feel happy and I feel warm and I feel excited every time I look around and remember who it was that helped me with that particular feature of the house.
And can we talk about the cost that was involved in building this home?
Sure. So an Earthship really is of similar kind of cost as a regular house, I suppose. I did have a lot of friends that helped in terms of that workshop build, and a lot of friends that used their skills to be able to help me complete the house. So the building of the home cost $350,000. That was also being built during the time of COVID. So when all of the building materials, the prices were quite inflated during that time.
Yeah, of course.
So I was hopeful that it would be less, but I was also just really pleased that it was able to happen and I was able to action my dream.
Absolutely. And I still think that's a great price for such a beautiful quality of home. And as you say, one of the clever things about Earthship designs is once you've got all these systems in place, the actual cost of maintaining the home is very minimal.
Yeah, you're correct. So that's really a special feature of it, and feels very freeing to know that those upfront costs are done now and it's really going to be very minimal maintenance.
Yeah. And with the home all finished now, what does the future hold for you?
Well, I'm not sure at the moment. Feels like it's the beginning of the next season. So
Yeah.
I'm really lucky that I get to work at the local high school, which is just a 10-minute walk away from the Earthship. I
Perfect.
love being with youth and working in kind of bush adventure therapy. So I've just done a big outdoor adventure in the Northern Flinders Ranges, taking those high school students away with me. I do love travel, so I feel like I'll be able to do a little bit more travel. But the special thing is knowing I have this Earthship to come home to, that the Earthship exists, I was able to action my dream, and really that I get to share it with more people will be pretty special.
Absolutely. Well, this is just such a clever and feature-packed home that you've built yourself. You should be immensely proud of this design. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
Thank you, Bryce. Thanks so much for coming. I'm glad to share it.
My pleasure. I love absolutely everything about Earthships. I love the cleverness of their design. I love the passive systems. I love the resilience that they represent. I love the clever utilization of resources. And beyond all of that, I love their beauty and just how well they function as homes. What Amy has created here is a perfect example of all of that put into practice, and wow, what a space she has made.